All right, guys, now the exciting part. Let's give our grades. Let's give our grades.
It's going to look like 7th grade Keagan in here. A lot of D's and C's.
And Keagan,
no, that high, huh?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. A C surprises me. Keagan, you are the guest. We start with you. What's the grade you give the Patriots front office at this point after the trade deadline?
Yeah, trade deadline's going to get a lot of the attention here, but I want to go back to the draft and just in terms of what this front office has done leading up to this point, they get a C- from me. And I know that's high. I know Trav is about to freak out and give him an F-, but you found the quarterback. You did the hardest part. You got your quarterback. Everything else has been swill. I haven't been pleased with any of it. Their 3 best free agent signings, Austin Hooper, who was a number 2 tight end on the wrong half of 30, Antonio Gibson, who's your number 2 running back and really doesn't look like he's doing much of anything.
Because your line can't block.
Because your line can't block for anybody. All right, we'll leave it at 2. You had 2 good free agent signings, and that was it. It's been a disaster, but at the end of the day, you got the guy. I'm a huge believer in Drake May. After watching him this week, last week, the week before, this dude's a player, man. So you got your quarterback, figure the rest of it out. You get a C-, and you bought yourself another year, but after that, it's nut-cutting time. You got to figure this thing out.
He's nice, Trav. Very nice grader.
It's the quarterback.
Is it my turn?
Yeah,
that's my quarterback.
I'll save me for last. The worst for last.
I like to preface my comments by saying I love Keegs. Love him. Love when he's on the show.
Hey, he is a big fan of you, Keeks.
I love seeing him in the
You
newsroom.
come on, you go,
he knows it. I tell him.
You go, we don't have to cap how long we keep Keegan on, right? I go, no, he's a man
No,
that's
it's
grateful
all
with his
love
time.
here.
He knows how I feel about him. And that's why I'm prefacing all of this with love, because you've got to be drunk. Because ain't no damn way in hell I'm giving Elliott Wolf credit for drafting Drake May. I mean, my God, bro. My 5-year-old daughter would have drafted Drake May. It was simple.
She's a great football mind.
Bro,
I've long said it.
Caleb, Jaden, Drake.
Yep.
Whatever order it is, take the best available at 3. And he did that. I mean, my goodness gracious. I ain't giving him no damn credit for that. Originally, being nice, I was going to say, you know what? My grade for the Patriots' totality offseason, now that the trade deadline is over, is incomplete. As in, it was incomplete. The trade deadline, they did nothing. It felt like crickets. I just don't know. Are any of these draft picks going to pan out? Doesn't feel like it right now. Feels incomplete. But no. Keegan's answer inspired exactly what I feel. So now, screw the incomplete grade. I'm going to give you the exact grade. F-. What is less than an F? I mean, this is ridiculous. They did nothing at the deadline. All these players who you re-signed, I mean, teams were picking up the phone like, can we get them? Can we get a Kyle Duggar? Bro, you just re-signed these people, and now they're on the trade block, if you believe the reports. Then the draft. Yeah, sure. Keeks is right. You got your quarterback. I mean, you're not getting a cookie for making the obvious choice. Let's look at what you've done the rest of the draft. Trash. That's what you've done. F-. Elliott Wolf will be fired. Gerard Mayo will be fired. You have a new GM and a new coach here, and they're going to get the job based off of the interview they give with Robert Kraft, talking about how they're going to actually, build a real team, a real franchise around this quarterback that we got who can play in Drake May. Started with an incomplete, finished with an F-. Terrible work by the Patriots.
Any rebuttal, Keegan?
Trav, you took the SAT, right?
I did.
So when you write your name down on the SAT, you get 600 points. They want to make sure these kids, you set them up for success. You get 600 points when you sign your name on the SAT. They signed their name.
Hey,
they signed the quarterback up.
Keeks, some kids misspell their name. That's where the Patriots are. Okay. What do you do with those kids? Some kids, you don't get the 600 because you misspelled a name.
Jim Irsay did that.
See?
He picked Anthony Richardson, bum quarterback, with the number 5 pick. So I'm giving him a little bit of credit. You could have made a dumb decision. You could have went, I don't know.
Could trade up for J.J. McCarthy, right?
We want J.J. McCarthy, or we want to trade back. We're going to take a tackle before we get the quarterback. They could have done any of those things.
They could have done that.
They get their 600 points from me.
You both have a little blend of my grade,
Okay.
And
It's a D.
What's
Definitely.
What's better though, an F plus or a D minus?
Step all over it.
Oh,
I mean, an F plus is worse.
an F
Look,
plus.
Yeah.
You both have a blend of my grade. I am giving them a D minus because they didn't trade back, and the quarterback was staring them in the face, and they took Drake May at 3. But they barely get a D minus because it is the most obvious decision to make. Everyone said it was 1, 2, 3. It was going to go quarterbacks 1, 2, 3, whether it was Jaden Daniels or Drake May. You barely get that D minus because the rest of the draft is what you have to be judged by. Jalen Polk, when he's on the football field, looks lost. Caden Wallace, which was sold to us as, well, he'd be a left tackle, isn't a left tackle. Layden Robinson, taken in the 4th round, another interior offensive lineman. He's been benched, brought back, benched again, and he has looked lost. Javon Baker has played 3 offensive snaps this season. You still have Tyquan Thornton on your roster. Yeah, he's on the kick return for Baker, but I don't care. KJ Osborne, who you signed, we all said you are better off just kicking him off the football team because he doesn't want to be here.
Yep.
It'd be addition by subtraction. Jacoby Brissett lost his job. You traded away Joshua Uche at a premier position where he will do good for the Chiefs for a 7th round pick.
Gross.
That is nothing.
Terrible.
Pick up the phone when the Chiefs call you and call the Detroit Lions and say that team you'll see in the Super Bowl, they want Uche. What will you give us for him just to mess them up? But he doesn't even do that. Before I even get into the rest of the free agency, they have failed free agency. They got a D on the draft, and they failed at the trade deadline. I'm being nice by giving them a D minus.
Yeah, you are.
What all of us are doing, though, it is not enough. And that's what I think we're all saying. That's the most damning thing of this front office. You know where the failure started? You know where the first F is? Where you bring in Elliott Wolf. You could have had Adam Peters, a guy that started his football career with the Patriots. And look at what he would do with the Commanders in the simple sample size of he flipped a Jahan Dotson for a 3rd round pick. That 3rd round pick becomes a Marshawn Lattimore. They have pressed every button brilliantly. From head coach hiring to quarterback drafting to offensive coordinator hiring to GM hiring. And look at what the Patriots have done. They have failed everywhere except the quarterback.
That's why I don't understand the D minus. I hear you
because
both with the Drake
trade
May.
back.
I know.
Because
I get
they didn't trade back.
I hear what you're saying. I just think you're giving too much credit for it. I am telling you, this is an F. And a D minus is, look, I brought D minuses home. I know what I'm talking about, okay? When you bring home a D minus, your parents look at it and say, this is an F. I mean, it's an F. This is an F minus for this team, and I'm all out of Fs to give because it is such an F minus. That's how bad it's been here. You both, I just wish I could go back in time and have the both of you as my teachers because Lord knows, I mean, you are so kind. I don't know if people are giving you an apple, teacher's pet style or what, or doing extra credit. How you don't land on an F in any capacity with this team baffles me. It baffles me.
Keegan and I didn't even bring up how Chuks Okorafor went AWOL on the team. Again, the left tackle.
Hey, who could have saw that coming?
Well, who
could have saw that coming?
Hold on. But the career right tackle, they said, well, he's a swing tackle. Was benched after 13 snaps in week effing 1.
Unbelievable.
Doesn't go AWOL aside. What you sold us on left tackles didn't happen.
Right.
You could have added Jonah Williams.
Yeah.
You could have brought in a Hollywood Brown. Both guys that got injured, I get it.
But you could have had him.
I'm not going to cry you didn't get Calvin Ridley, but he would have been a help this season.
Lord knows.
But there are substantial players you could have brought in that would have been the best guy in those rooms at the position.
Yes.
And you couldn't even do that, and you have all this cap space you'll roll over. We'll see the long-term plan, but they have failed.
What's the plan? What is the damn plan?
Do I have time to be serious for a moment?
Yeah.
Yes.
Calvin Ridley, they made the offer. They went out. They tried as hard as they could to get him. It didn't work out. They did the same thing with Brandon Ayuk. It's not for a lack of trying. And at this point,
facts.
Yeah.
At this point, they found the quarterback, and I think that's going to make it a hell of a lot easier next year that you have to go get the other guys.
With a new regime. Don't forget that. New GM, new head coach.
Any recruiting you have, anyone you bring in, you play Drake May's biggest hits. Yes. Starting with the game-tying touchdown pass against the Titans.
Yes.
Starting with that, you go, hey, this is who you'll play with. And you sell them on the offensive line and you go from there.